So I got lots of stuff here to help test this new product, and we are looking at this right here. It's the Hohem Mic 01. This is new, and as far as I can tell, it's only coming out today. We're going to take a look at kind of what it can do. Now, we got a little bit of info in regards to specs when Hohem sent this to us. Now, just be aware again, yes, they sent it to us, but it's not sponsored. I can say whatever I want about it. And really, like all of our videos, I'm going to test the mic. You guys will be able to hear how the mic sounds, and you can kind of make up your own mind. This does come in two different versions because primarily they say it's kind of designed as a smartphone microphone. You can get it in one of two flavors. You can get it in either a USB-C version, which is what we got, and you can get a Lightning version for those that have an iPhone 14 or older. The reason we went with the USB-C version is because, as many know, the iPhone 15 has USB-C. When we decide to upgrade, be it to the 15 or 16 or 20, the chances are this will work. So if we decide that we like this and we keep using it, USB-C could be useful. Secondly is we have Android smartphones that we get for review and USB-C, pretty much all of them. Next, I have a iPad Air, which is USB-C, so we'll see if it works with that. And lastly, the USB-C version can work with a traditional camera with a little bit of workaround. If you want this to be able to work with more than just your smartphone, then you kind of have to look at that connector. Lightning, iPhone 14s, and that's kind of it. Maybe some of the iPad tablets. So again, iOS, USB-C versions, Androids, Android tablets, current iPad Pros, iPad Airs, current iPhones, and again, cameras. Let's take a look at what comes in the box, and then we'll connect it to some devices to see how it works. Hohem Mic 01, brand new. I do like it. Comes in two colors, so you can get this in this kind of black and red, or you can get it in a white. We got sent the black version. Now you can also get it with one transmitter and one receiver, or you can get it with two transmitters and two receivers, again depending on what package you want. So I brought down a whole bunch of extra stuff here, which you'll see as we connect it, but right out of the box, I've opened it so I could see it. First off, manual, and I have to say it's a nice little manual. It's got good size fonts. It's easy to follow. It does everything you kind of need to do. It tells you how to connect like to whatever device. It's good. It's good. It's all that comes in this. But what more do you need? In the little side box here. And this is something that we'll probably test again, but we may test this more so in the spring. I'm curious to see how this will work in a motorcycle helmet. Thinking what I may do is actually have this connected to like an action cam on my handlebars, wirelessly connected to this microphone so that it can record audio to here. The nice thing, and I wasn't sure, is that it does come with little wind muffs. Yes. How awesome is that? So you'll see there's a little hole in the top. On top of the microphone here, if you do want to connect, I think, a third-party microphone, you can. And then inside here, you'll see a little hole. There's a little hole in there, and that's where the actual microphone is on the actual transmitter. So you get two of those, and I think that's pretty sweet. You also get a little USB-A to USB-C cable for charging the case, or probably just charging the independent devices themselves. I like the little case. It's not small, but it's small enough, and I like the little orange on it. That's nice. There's your little USB-C for charging right there. It does have, as you see, you can open and close it. You do get a power indicator for powering. Now it does say it's about 7 hours that you'll get per charge on the actual transmitters. Receiver, because it is powered via the USB-C, really all depends on the device, right? The receiver is going to be either plugged into your iPhone, or you're going to be plugged into your Android phone, your tablet, or whatever. So because of that, it doesn't need to be powered. So you'll see in here, you're going to have the actual receiver. And mine is, of course, the USB-C. You do have some like gain controls and noise reduction controls and things like that. Make sure you go through the manual. I'm not going to go through all that. And then there is the actual wireless transmitter, and there's the microphone. Now you will see that it does have a little piece of tape on it, so make sure you take this off or else these aren't going to charge. So I'm going to make sure I do that, put them back in the case so that these can charge, and make sure you do it for both of them. And you will see there's that USB-C, so if you want to charge this right there, and the charging pins connectors on this side, in this side is the actual where you can plug an external microphone. Now it doesn't come with any extra microphones, so if you want to do that, you're going to have to supply your own, but there's a microphone that it comes with. This, as far as I know, is a clamp, so if you wanted to clamp it, but I also think it has a pretty strong little magnet. Not that I would put it here, but I'll put that there. Magnet. So if you could use a magnet in your shirt as well, which is nice. So if I had a t-shirt, which I'm not wearing right now, but pretend I had a t-shirt, I could take this, put this collar underneath there. Yes, I like that. That's super nice, and both of them have that. So that's excellent. Just don't lose it, I guess. That's the key. So it just kind of sticks, and you can see it's a pretty good magnet, right? Like as soon as you like it's that's good. That's all right. And then again on the side here, you're gonna have your power. I have to look, but one of them is going to be power. One of them will turn on noise canceling. It has 2 levels of noise canceling, and then off, of course. I am going to do these without the mic because there's no sound or wind. But you can see if you did want this would simply just kind of plug on the top, and that's it, ready to go. Like that's super nice. I think, this is my thoughts, this would be really good again in my helmet. I'm trying it this spring for sure, because I have a little strap in here, which is where the camera mount is, and I could clamp that onto the strap and then have the mic right there with a wind muff, and then I could turn on some of the noise canceling just to see which is the best level. And I think that would be awesome. All right, let's connect it. So let's connect it first to my phone. Now this again is where you and I would just take this. I'm going to plug this in. And then we take this, but it is flashing blue, which is good. We're going to take this and turn this on. These should pair. There it is. See, it says channel 1. Channel 1 paired. And this one's still flashing because, again, channel 2 is sitting in the box. Let's put this way so mic facing me. And I don't even know right now if this is going to work properly. What I'm going to do is we're going to just set this up like so. We are going to try and record some video here. I'm just using, and again with Android, I'd read this, with Android you just want to make sure you're using an app that can handle an external one. So I'm using this, it's called the Dolby app. I don't know, it's just the first one I found. Anyways, I'm going to try to record with this, ready? And it'll count down. Now my hope is, again, that this is recording. We can't really tell anything from here, but it does, I would think so, because you can't see it, but when I'm looking at the actual receiver, the blue light has stopped flashing. It's gone away. And my guess is it is now sensing that I have this mic picked in, and I'm going to do a turnaround, because if it was picking up my normal mic, then garbage is falling. Just ignore that. It would have muted. You guys would be able to tell if it's this microphone that's doing the pickup. But if it is, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back and just take a listen to see what this is like, and then we'll continue on, see how it connects with other products and sounds as well. Okay, I think that was a success. I actually just looked back at it. Now I can't hear it. You guys have heard it already, so you guys get an idea of what it actually sounds like. Recorded great, but video came through. As far as I could tell from my phone, it seemed to be a-okay. Now we're going to unplug this, and we are moving on. We're moving on to my iPad. Now I downloaded this Blackmagic cam. Now I also think on the iPad or the iPhone that you should be able to use the standard app. Now I don't know if I come in here and do anything like for audio, if it will actually say audio source. Yeah, see audio source, it says mic 01. All right, same idea. We are going to attempt to record this. Ready? And this should now be using, again, with the iPad now, this should be recording using this microphone. So that should be really cool. Again, I'll do a spin around so you guys can tell. And we should still be recording stuff. Yes, I have boxes on the floor. I promised myself that I would do a studio cleanup before the end of the year. So that's definitely something that's happening. But on this, which is the Blackmagic camera app, I can actually see like meters and things like that. So I am getting into, it looks like the yellow. So I should be able to play around with the gain on here if I wanted to be able to bring that down if I so need it. I don't think I need it though, so that's kind of cool. And my shirt is giving you a little bit of extra. I'm sure you are pleased with that. You're welcome. Happy New Year. Make sure my mic is facing backwards now. Let's turn this around. Let's bring it down a little further just to see. I'm curious. So if we had it down mid shirt, right? It's down. You guys, can you see it? If I do this, can you see where it is? There it is. That's where it is now. So you get a better idea if it's down further. And I'm thinking when it's down a little further, and I'm talking pretty normal, it's actually got better sound because of the fact that it's kind of way down here. When it's up higher, you probably want to turn some of the gain down, but when it's there, that's picking up really good. At least I can tell that it's picking up based on the meters on this app. Now, again, if I turn this way, you should, if I was using my normal mic, it should just fade out to nothing, but that's not the case. So works on the iPad as well. Very cool. All right, last but not least, let's try it on an actual camera. Now, I do want to try one thing. This is just a real quick thing, nothing overly fancy. I still have this plugged into my iPad, but I want to try just using the traditional camera application just to see how this well. So if I bring up the camera app, I just want to see if it picks me up because I'm curious to see if it's picking up this or not. So again, I'll just do a spin around to see if it's picking up that or not. Real quick. Yes, no. Is it working with this? Again, it's way down here. I guess we'll see. So far, I think we're doing really well. I'm very pleased. USB-C, for one, for me, probably the best option, especially with the fact that anybody that's looking at upgrading their phone, their iPhone, for instance, you are going to be going to a USB-C device. It's definitely a hard time for you and I to be looking at iPhone accessories if you don't have a new one, just for the fact that you know this may be the last year that some of these function, because you won't have Lightning anymore, right? So that's a bit of a hardship, because you know that if you spend or invest a lot in a lot of Lightning accessories, next year they just won't be there. So you kind of have to think about it. But if you are going to upgrade, so far I'm thinking this is going to be a good option for when you decide to actually do that. When you're using this with a camera, there's a bit of extra stuff. This is doable, they say. But this piece here, and you'll see I got my Sony a7C here. This piece here requires power, and the power comes from the USB-C. The other thing though that you'll kind of require is you will require a cable, so make sure that you get a TRS cable. So I'm going to plug the TRS cable in here to my mic port. We are going to plug this into this, and this now, this is the part that is something you and I kind of need to understand. What you and I need after this. And again, this is something that I've been thinking of when I want to do my motorcycle stuff. This is like a tripod battery charger, okay? Or it's a small battery. Now you could have a really small battery because it's just a microphone. It doesn't take a lot of power, so you really, the smallest one you can find should be okay. But my thought is I'm going to mount this to my handlebars on my motorcycle and put my action cam up here. Then what I could do is plug this into my action camera, and then I could plug this, would go right in. Let's just spin this, ready? Right in, please turn on, boom. So this is an important part of the piece, because now you'll see this has connected. Battery is needed when you and I are gonna run this to a camera. But again, for me, not a huge deal, because I've got a few like little tripod handle things like this that I can use with this camera. So it's a piece of the puzzle. It's almost like turning the receiver into the battery. If you have one of these, you should be good. And there are a lot of battery options out there. It's not something that I'm gonna be telling you about. Camera on and record. So now we are recording off the Mic 01, the Hohem. And again, we'll do a turnaround just to make sure that it's not using my actual camera microphone to pick anything up.
but we should get a better idea of how this sounds. Now, the one thing to also just think about while you're listening to this audio clip is the audio may sound a little bit different based on when the Android phone recorded it, or based on when the iPad recorded it, or based on when my Sony a7C is recording it, because each of those devices has its own like audio decoders and things like that. So the better that the device can actually record audio, the better, in regards to like adjusting gain and doing all kinds of stuff. Yes? But you guys have 3 different options now to kind of play with, or to have listened to get an idea. I think it's a great little option. I do wish maybe in a Mic 02 they decide that the little receiver unit will have its own little battery in it down the road. But I think for now, for me, not a horrible option. And I am really excited to try out this microphone with the wind muff on it once it's riding season. I can go and see how that does for noise canceling, because there is, like I said, there is 3 different levels of noise canceling in regards to this. So I think that's going to be really good. The last thing I just kind of wanted to show you is that if you are someone that is a smartphone user, for instance, or you're a camera user like this, I showed you with this kind of device, but the M6, which is Hohem's gimbal. Now,
again, not sponsored, but I've done a lot of reviews on a lot of gimbals. The M6, I think it's called the MT2 or MTS, or I can't remember. Both of these are probably my 2 favorite gimbals that came out last year. This one is for smartphones. The other one is for smartphones, GoPros, or like mirrorless cameras like my A7C, because it can just kind of hold that much weight and it has just a different setup. But the bonus of both of these is that, and especially I think the other one, is that it does have charging port on the side. And because they have charging ports on the side, I can't remember which one it is, if it's this one or this one, this microphone will be able to plug into that unit. So if I had this here and turn this on, and again, it doesn't matter if you had either one of the new ones. I don't know if you guys see that. See that right there? I'm going to just turn this down or turn it up, one of the 2 ways. Power. So this gimbal gives it power, which is awesome. So this one or the newer Hohem, the one that can actually do like mirrorless cameras and GoPros and things like that, will actually power this. That in itself, come on, focus on me. There you go. That in itself, you know, it's a nice little combo. Gimbal, microphone, off to the races. If you don't need a gimbal, it'll work with your iPad or your Android or whatever, gimballess. If you're going to use a actual camera like this, like a mirrorless camera, then you either want to use maybe their gimbal or another gimbal that actually can supply power, or a battery brick like this, or just a small battery that you can kind of mount somewhere. All right, so I'm just kind of sneaking into near the end of this video because I wanted to show you this on here because I didn't talk about it during the video. I don't know if you guys can see right here on both of the actual transmitters, there's a spot for a micro SD card. What's cool about these as well is that they will back up their audio recording to this micro SD card, or you can just use this as a single and use it as a voice recorder. So if I were to turn this on, you'll see it goes green because it is attempting now to find the receiver. If I just hit the record button, which is the little red button there on the top, you'll see that starts recording. If I were to put this right there, and we'll switch to this microphone right now, now you're hearing what this is recording to the SD card. So I don't have a camera in here with the receiver on it. The receiver is upstairs sitting in the charging box, and this is completely recording to the micro SD card. Now I'm not 100% sure what size of SD card this can take. My guess would be a 32 gig, 64 gig, somewhere in that range. I am just guessing though. Even with, let's say, a 16 or 32 gig, this is recording strictly audio. So you should have no problems getting hours on a 32 gig card. Really cool. And you can see it kind of flashing right there. Yes. And what I'm going to do is just kind of take this off and we'll be able to just move it around like this. So this would be really cool. And this is one of my hopes, again, when I was talking about using this possibly as an actual audio recorder for my motorcycle, being able to put this in the helmet, know that it's recording to itself. Plus, if I have the transmitter on an action camera, or sorry, the receiver on an action camera, then I'm getting a backup. So that's cool. All right, back to the normal video and back to the normal microphone. All right, guys, this is the Hohem Mic 01, and I like it. I'm really looking forward to trying this out in the spring to see how it works on my bike, because it may change a lot for me. All right, guys, I'll put links down below because, again, when I'm recording this, it's a couple days before this is released, and I have no idea the price, nor do I have any idea all the specs. Some of the specs, but not all the specs. All right, guys, that's it. It's very cool. Later.